All right, we're live. Kufar Akbar, welcome everybody to a Thursday afternoon edition of the Crescent discussion group. I know it's an odd time for everybody to be hopping on in here, and I appreciate the people who are coming into the chat and saying hello. I appreciate that. It's a nice sunny summer day. What, pray tell, would drag us into the office on a nice, beautiful afternoon? Well, it was because of a debate that occurred on, what's today, Thursday? This would have been Tuesday between our good friend God Logic and another guy by the name of Charley Doyle. Now, the debate itself, we're really not going to focus on the debate substance itself. It's kind of focus on the style, if that's okay, and some of the arguments that were made. Now, if you look at what the debate was about are there contradictions? What was it? Contradictions in the Bible, and then are there contradictions in the Quran? And Charley fielded one, and then Avery fielded one, and there was interaction going back in between both of them for each of their arguments. And you know, I remember watching a debate. Well, actually, it wasn't supposed to be a debate, but it was a discussion between Nadir Ahmed and Dr. Michael Brown. This would have been 2020. It was the COVID year. And I remember I'm listening to this thing in my car. I'm watching it on the bat phone. And I felt bad for Nadir, because Nadir was completely out of his depth, out of his league. He was just embarrassed and destroyed. And what's really ironic about the whole thing, Nadir later comes back and says that since Michael Brown won't engage him again, Michael Brown's running from him. Well, the same thing happened with Avery addressing the shallow biblical eisegesis of his opponent on Tuesday. It was, and some of the arguments, which we're going to go through here, were absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, when I say ridiculous, we're putting an order of magnitude on the rate of ridiculousness of what some of the counter arguments were for that. I'm waiting for Rad to get back up here, because Rad had to take a real quick break before he came on. Oh, there he is, I tell you. Okay, Rad said that he would go ahead and take the piece on what the points, the contradiction in the Quran that Charley had.
In the Bible, not the Quran, in the Bible.
That's what I meant. You know what I'm saying.
Well, don't confuse the two.
I'm sorry. Okay. So his contradiction in the Bible, Charley's contradiction, his supposed contradiction in the Bible, and then Avery's contradiction in the Quran. So if you could provide just a brief summary of each of those, that'd be marvelous.
Yeah. So Charley's Charley's alleged contradiction is found in Acts 7. I'm trying to find a verse. So,
14 and 15, I think.
yeah, here it is. Yeah, it's 14. Yeah, it's 14. So this is Stephen's speech, right? That Stephen, who is a first century Jew, is giving to other first century Jews. I believe it's on the temple, at the temple, right? If I'm not mistaken. And he's given, or outside the temple courtyard or whatever, but he's given this speech, okay, to these first century Jews. And he's going through the basic history of Israel, okay? From the time of Abraham all the way down to Jacob and Joseph, Joseph in Egypt, so on and so forth. And we get to verse 14. And Joseph sent and summoned Jacob his fathers and all his kindred, 75 persons in all. And Jacob went down into Egypt, and he died, he and our fathers. And they were carried back to Shem and laid in the tomb of that Abraham had brought for a sum of silver from the sons of Hamor of Shechem. Okay, so Charley says this is a contradiction because Abraham, well, I forgot what his contradiction is because it's so blurry, because it's so convoluted. But basically, it's a contradiction because Abraham did not buy the tomb at Shechem. He bought a tomb someplace else for Sarah, I believe, right?
Right.
Okay.
All
right. Now, our brother, are we going to play some of Avery's response? Because I think he gave.
No, I don't have that. I don't have that plugged in there. The only thing I wanted to do is get to where, let's see, he starts talking about commas. And how
right.
His complaint about commas.
Well. Anyways, so go over Avery's response. Avery gives a great breakdown. Okay, going through different verses in Genesis and other parts where he demonstrates that yes, it was Abraham who bought it, okay, originally, and then Joseph went and rebought it, okay. I believe that's what it is, okay. But it's a great explanation. I wish we could play it because it really is great.
Well, it was just go to Avery's channel and watch it. I mean, that's all we have.
Right.
I don't have to steal Avery's thunder here because he did. You're absolutely right. He did an absolute fabulous job of explaining it. Explaining why it is not a contradiction.
Exactly.
Okay, and then the fact that they're using Stephen. Okay, Stephen's is getting ready to be stoned to death at this time. So, what we're doing is we're thinking, okay, well, Stephen's got to be on point and completely detailed in everything that he has to say in his last words.
Right.
To all these people. It's just absolutely, I mean, because when you start talking about context and what's going on in and around with the story there, this is if you ever talk about something that is a nothing burger, and this is the best. And because I've seen him post, I've seen what he said. No Christian can answer this. Well, dude, you just got embarrassed. You got Nadir Ahmeded.
Nadir Ahmeded, yeah.
On this debate, it was absolutely.
Well, so here's the thing, and this is what a lot of these alleged contradictions boil down to. Okay, they're giving a summary. Okay, and this is a first century Jew speaking to other first century Jews. They know what he's talking about. Okay, he doesn't have to go over every single detail. This is found in even common Jewish writings today, but it's found in the Mishnah and the Gemara. They combine verses and they shorten it. Okay, they don't tell you the whole detailed thing because they know that the people that they are writing to know what they're talking about. Okay, so I mean, there's instances, okay, like in where, like in Matthew, I believe, where they're going over, is it Matthew, where he's going over the genealogy, and he quotes a verse. There are actually two verses.
Matthew does. In the genealogy. right?
Well, it's not so much a genealogy. He's quote. No, I think it's maybe John the Baptist, but he quotes from two verses, and some translations translate it to or cite it to Isaiah, when it's really a combination of Isaiah and Jeremiah, I believe. Okay, it's a combination of two prophets. Well, that's fine in first century Jewish writings and even later Jewish writings. Is they combine the different verses from the different prophets and they cite it to the major known prophet, but everybody else knows about it. This is common Jew. I mean, this is just proving that this is a first century Jew talking to first century Jew is all you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
And
your
and
audience is. So, you're not writing a doctoral thesis here.
right. And
You're
Avery laid it out. I mean, very good. Went through it in great detail because to someone who claims, I know the Bible better than anyone. No, you don't, because if you did, then you would know that this is what is happening. But instead, Avery had to lay it all out to you. Now, what is funny is that somehow, I don't know what what happened with Charlie, but somehow he started talking about commas, which is
I
simply
have it right here.
amazing. Okay,
I have,
can you bring that up? Let's play that
let's
because
go ahead
this
and
is
play
this is
it.
what cracked me up, dude. I was laughing so hard at this one.
Yeah, let's share screen, and I think this is it. All right, can we see this? There we go. All right, tell me if you can hear it. Play.
Reflects what Abraham did.
Okay, can you hear that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here we go.
That Jacob bought the land and then built an altar to the Lord. Same thing Abraham did.
All right. So first of all, he's claiming that I guess the commas in the ESV that I'm looking at were actually in the Greek, which they weren't. The Greek is actually written.
And he did not make that
Of
claim.
course not.
He did not
Of
make
course
that
not.
claim.
No
But
one
of course,
makes that.
this is where you're projecting. He's hiding and he's trying to run away from it.
And with
Right,
all
right.
the letters together, it would be like taking all these words in English and just packing them next to each other. There's no spaces, there's no commas, there's nothing there. And you have to guess what those words are when you're translating it. So these
Okay, so what he's doing is he's talking about the Unicode type of writing that was used at this time. In this Greek form of writing, it comes from the magical script, but they called it Unicode, and it has all the letters are written in capital. They're capitalized, and there's like a strict spacing at the top of them, and a strict space. Where am I going here? Strict spacing at the bottom of them. And there's no spacing in between words. So when people are reading, now keep in mind, this was not just used for New Testament manuscripts. This was used universally within the Roman Empire at the time. So here you're using a script, a type of script that everybody understands. And now what he is saying is that, well, the translators today don't know exactly what was being said. And that's not true. That's simply an untrue statement. And the reason why is because this is a common script. All of the scripts are written this way, and people can go in there and translate them, or they're able to go ahead and translate them into any language. You can translate it into Russian, you can translate it into Japanese, you can translate it into English. And when you translate these manuscripts into English, in order to understand the meaning, which is from a completely different language, that does not use commas. As a matter of fact, oh, by the way, commas weren't invented until the 15th century. I went and I looked it up. I'm thinking, why is he even bringing up commas? I mean, what the heck? What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? And nothing. So commas weren't even invented until the 15th century, and he's making an argument. Well, I don't trust what the translators say. He goes on to say here. Let me move this up to the next clip here. Let's see. 1849. This is kind of a shorter clip. Let me
in the Greek.
Dude, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I'm telling you, based on the third clause that's in a sentence. So that's how they come up with putting commas in places and things of this nature. You know what I'm saying? It's based on the clauses of a sentence, the structure of a sentence. That's all I'm saying.
That's good. Prove it.
Rocket science.
Prove it.
Prove it.
Where the commas are, they just proved it, man.
You made the claim. Don't do it in English. I want to know in the Greek where it tells them, how it tells them to place a comma there.
Well, I'm not a Greek.
Okay, so there again, call a Greek scholar. I mean, this is an absolute ridiculous claim. And here's, you can see where he's getting desperate. Prove it. Show me where, you have to put commas in that exact place. And it's all based on the sentence structure itself. And Avery correctly identifies as the clauses. When you look at the sentence clause and how they're used, you can deduce where these commas, using modern English, should be going.
Well, here's the thing that's worse on it, and Avery didn't, and I can't. Well, I think he might have touched on it a little bit, but he should have really started hammering Charles on his reading of the English translation that he was reading from, and to prove the commas in that, and to prove the grammatical thing in that, because Arabic was written in the same way, but worse, because the original Arabic of the Quran before the 8th century had no dialectical marks. There were no vowels. There were just 3 vowels, okay, or repeating of a 3-vowel structure. Not 3 vowels, sorry, 3 consonants, repeating of a 3 consonant structure. So therefore, one word could have 20 different meanings.
Right.
Like there was one study I was listening to a while ago, where they had an Arabic scholar. Okay, he was actually taught at Harvard or something like that. He was, and he was like, the problem with Arabic is you have one word, and he gave an example. He's like, this word right here, it could mean house, it could be red, it could mean red, it could mean cow, it could mean boat, it could be, mean all these things that have like 20 different meanings until you put the dialectical marks in there. So Charles, who does not read Arabic nor Greek, would have to prove then, based on his own logic, his own attack against Avery, who Avery gave a brilliant response, that he would need to prove the grammar or the sentence structure of anything that he has an English translation of the Quran. And I mean, dude, just the irrationalness of this type of an argument is just silly and ridiculous. But then again, he is a silly, ridiculous person.
Right. Well, here I went in and I thought, okay, so he's saying these guys have no idea where these commas are supposed to go. So how can you trust it? Well, you can equally ask the same question here. Watch this. Here's the first verse in the first surah of the Quran. And what do they have in the first surah, the first verse of the Quran? Look, what is these little red things are these things I circle with a red line? What are those called? Oh, those are called commas. So if you're going to try to make the argument, and this ridiculous argument that since the unical script from the Greek that the New Testament was written in, we can't understand where they're going to put it. They can just put it anywhere they want to. Well, can't they do the same thing to the Quran and put it wherever they want to also? So it's a ridiculous argument, and and Avery did a great job of being patient with him and trying to make sure that it's explained correctly, but that still was not
far more patient than me.
Oh yeah, because that still wasn't good enough, because when he starts getting pressed for all these things, this is where he starts to come unglued. So let me see here. Let me move this up, minimize this, and let's see. In the next minute, let's see. That was where they start talking about commas, is at the 19-minute mark. So when we start, and you can start seeing where this is where, instead of just critiquing the argument, we're going to critique the form here, where Charles starts to come unglued here. Present. Up we go. Window up. Nope. Here we go. Okay, here we go.
Showing them where those commas go.
That's one heck of a claim. Can you prove that?
Yeah, actually, you're the one who made the claim, not me. So it's on you to prove it.
Did. You literally made the claim.
Yep. Give me a second. I'll show you a manuscript since you're an idiot.
No. Oh, wow.
Okay, so he's manifesting and calling Avery an idiot because he's going to show Avery a manuscript, something that he didn't even ask for. Say, you show me where the commas are in this manuscript. Well, Avery doesn't speak Greek, not that I'm aware of anyway. And even if he did, would it even matter? Because when that's not how they translate. They neither translate the Greek nor the Arabic for the Quran with commas, but yet commas are inserted into them in order to provide context and identify the clauses and the pauses that are supposed to be in the sentence. But that wasn't the best part about it. Let's see here. He goes,
Oh no, that wasn't.
No. We go. I go up to here's another one where he starts to manifest a little bit more. And remember, he's going around the clubhouse telling everybody what an idiot everybody is because it's only Charley that knows the correct way to exegete the Bible.
No, we're not. If you don't know Arabic, then it's not.
I rely on the scholars that do know Arabic. That's beautiful, right?
Well, no, because is that how you look at Greek too?
I rely on the scholars who know Greek.
Yeah, you're an idiot. So it says that.
Okay, here we go.
Wait,
you're an idiot. You don't know Greek. Well, he doesn't know.
Wait, hold on.
So what does that make him? That's.
Well,
so wait a second. He doesn't know Greek. He relies on the scholars who know Greek, so that makes him an idiot. Charles doesn't know Arabic. He doesn't know anything about the Quran. So he relies on people in Clubhouse to explain him the Quran who don't know Arabic.
Right.
Right, but God's logic is the idiot. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Gotcha. Okay. I see. Yeah. That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Okay. So, and Avery, he's trying to be patient with him and discuss and explain this to him. And he just, you sometimes, I guess there's a time where you actually do run out of patience.
I don't think he ran out of patience.
Well, here's where he this is where he calls Charley or Charles.
Yeah, Charley. But that's just giving him a friendly name. He's being friendly. He's not trying to insult him. He's not doing anything. As he said, I'm your friend. I mean, no, that wasn't. No, he wasn't running out of patience. There's no animosity in his heart. Go ahead and play it. Go ahead and play it.
My apologies. Okay, here we go. This is classic. This is classic. What we get now. Let's remind ourselves. This is what following this prophet, and he doesn't follow his sunnah, does he? Because he doesn't know what the sunnah is. But this is what.
Well, you can't really blame this on Islam. This is just a Chucky Charles phenomenon. Charles hates God. Okay, for whatever reason, he blames God for all of his woes and misery. He is the white savior. He wants to save people, and for some reason, he wants to do things his own way on his own terms, and he thinks he knows better than anybody else. No, this is him rebelling against God. Period. This has nothing to do. I'm not going to say this has anything to do with Islam per se. It's more to do with Chucky or Charley, Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. It has nothing to do with Charlie embracing some new form of Islam that he just discovered. He thinks now is the true Islam. It doesn't matter if he was a Jew again or if he was a universalist. He'd be the same way. You know what I mean? He's shown that. He's demonstrated that.
Equally angry.
Equally.
And this is where he definitely has anger issues, and this clip proves it.
Besides their own.
Yeah, there you have to go back to 12.
Excuse me. And they will barely be questioned on the day of resurrection concerning that which they invented. You said it's in verse 12?
Yep.
All right, let's
you got to read the context. I mean, I know you don't know what context means.
No, let's do this. Let's read verse 12 then. Hold on, let me add verse 12 in here. Let's see if it helps our friend Charlie. Let's see if
Who the fuck did you just call me?
Charley.
I'm not your buddy.
Oh, that's okay. You are my buddy.
No.
Yeah, I love you.
You'll respect, or I'll call you Avery Pussy.
Why? Because isn't that your name, bro?
You're
All
a punk. You're a
All right.
punk. That's
Isn't
why.
that your name?
All right, yeah. Come on.
You want to get stupid with me?
You already got stupid. I can't even get any stupider than that.
Yeah.
I don't think we can get any.
Yeah, we'll
stupider.
see, we'll see what happens when I meet you.
Okay, I'm in Balboa Park, 12 to 6 p.m. every Sunday.
Okay, this is what you get. Exactly what you get. He says, I'm gonna come beat you up.
See, there was no animosity in his heart. There was no frustration. He's like, fine, okay, we'll go to the verse, okay, because what our friend Charlie wants. I love, no, there's no animosity there. The dude goes off. I'll meet you at. See, okay, this is what I'm talking about. You can take the racist cop out of the police force, but you can't take the racist out of the ex-cop. I mean, that's clearly what this is. Okay. And he's.
You actually think this is? I mean, you come to think about it, the only two people that have really triggered this guy have been African Americans. This is Danny and Avery.
Right.
Well, you might have a point.
No, it is.
It's sick, is what it is. The guy definitely has anger issues, and I tried to reach out and say, it doesn't matter how well you perform in this debate. It doesn't matter what you say, how cordial you are. When he gets embarrassed like this, like he was, he's going to come after you. He's going to start making threats, and this is exactly what he did. I mean,
I still say I'll put up good money for you to take him up on his challenge of an MMA fight. I mean, I'd pay good money to see that. I'll work your corner, dude.
I wouldn't touch the man with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't get him within a million feet of that guy. I mean, and we've talked about this where he says that he's disabled, and I would never go after somebody who's physically disabled.
I'd make an exception.
I would never do that. I have too much. I don't know. I don't say honor, but I just wouldn't do that. But the thing is, here's the thing is and I don't think that he really is. I think that this is just a scam of his. I really do. Fibromyalgia, really, and you're getting SSI for fibromyalgia. Come on.
He's also got Bell's palsy, though. He's also got Bell's palsy.
But that's not something that just
dude
droopsy on the face, and
wait.
It isn't permanent, though. It's not a permanent.
Wait, would you want to get a cheeseburger at McDonald's from somebody who's drooling on himself? I'm just saying. I mean, that's the only job he's qualified for, and I would want to get, you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I'm just saying. But no, I don't think he is. And I think his situation is deteriorated because if you notice, he doesn't come on camera anymore.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, remember, I've spoken to people who know him, and they say that he is disabled. And it was getting worse the last time I spoke to these people a couple of years ago, whenever it was. And so yeah, I don't know if he's bedridden or if he's riding around in a hovercraft or whatever they call it.
Why is he threatening people though? That's what I don't understand.
Because he's angry, because God has humbled him, or is trying to humble him, and he will not be humbled. So he has to lash out. He has to lash out at God and everyone around him. Everything, if you notice about him, everything is everyone else's fault.
Right.
From him getting fired from that police force, he calls them racist cops. Now, if you think about that, no, he seriously. And I also think he has a serious drinking problem because if you notice, well, maybe it's his Bell's palsy, he's slurring his words. But if you notice, because he's so irrational, he goes off on a hinge, and his stuff is so sporadic, like all of a sudden he'll make these videos, these really bad, stupid videos, and all of a sudden he takes them down. It's like he sobers up. And he's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Like drunk tweeting on Twitter or whatever. Oh crap! I shouldn't have said that. You know what I'm saying? But no, I seriously believe he does. Or either that, or he's doing some other hardcore drugs. Who knows? But either way, okay. The dude has got serious mental issues. The dude has got serious. I mean, he needs professional help. He really does, and I'd encourage him to do that. Now he's a retired vet, right? Well, not retired vet. That's right. He didn't make it. Yeah. but doesn't he still, even though he only did the 4 years, doesn't he still get disability or whatever from the VA or medical insurance from the VA?
I'm not
Like,
sure. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I think you do. You know, I think. Well, I think that if you, how it works is that, well, I've gone for full physicals, and when you leave the service, the VA will get your medical record, and they evaluate if you have a service connected disability. For example, mine is I hearing. So
yeah, my dad finally got his hearing aids from the VA.
So you can go in and you can get hearing aids and or glasses. I had, my sight was going bad, and I get it.
That's just called old age.
This is true, but it's still in my medical record, so I get a disability.
But either way, he's got to get some. I mean, because the dude, everything's.
It has to be diagnosed while he's in the service. I think I might be wrong.
Right? Okay.
I don't know.
Well, either way, the dude. I mean, either way, he's got to be on some kind of. Well, if he's on SSI, then he has medical insurance through Medicaid or whatever. He really does need. Chris and I were blocked from the room. Charley has us blocked on call.
Yeah, Chloe and Chris tried to get into the room to ask questions. I think it was during the Q. Oh, the Q&A. Did you catch a Q&A on this?
No, that's when I went to Avery's channel and I got on his StreamYard, and I think I made a complete fool of myself because I was driving. But that's beside the point.
Joyless, whoever the mod was, Joy. I call her Joyless. She's shouting, screaming at everybody. That she's screaming at this guy that came up and tried to ask a question, and this is where Avery says, "Okay, well, we're done because this has turned into a joke. You've lost control of the room." Because there was some guy came up and tried to ask Avery a question. Avery answered it, and then he wanted to engage in Avery in another debate about the question. And Avery's like, "Oh, this is a Q&A." And then they tried to bring somebody up for Charles, and it just went south from there. So yeah, Ray. There we go. It's Ray is that lady's name. She didn't let Avery talk. Yeah, I agree. Hold on. Chloe said it was Ray. Yeah, and she was just mean. It's just a mean-spirited type attitude towards people.
Well, Charles is right in until he turns on him, which he will.
Yeah,
and that's going to be epic.
Everybody else that he's dealt with, he is indeed
done. This is a guy for you. For those of you who don't know, he started out, as far as we can tell, in his YouTube career with Kelly Powers as Christian, right? And then somehow Kenny came on the Kelly Powers show, and Charley didn't like the way Kelly Powers was treating Kenny or something like that. So Kenny took a shahada, became a Muslim, and started attacking Kelly Powers, called him a hater and Islamophobe and all kinds of stuff.
And he tried to get Kelly. He tried to get Kelly's church to fire him.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, don't forget. This is what he does. I mean, just get that teacher out of the classroom. He can't say that.
I didn't know that. That's funny.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, anyway, and then he turns up on our radar because someone had to mention someone else who will not be mentioned because he supported Hamas, and that's when he got on our radar.
Yeah.
And then it kind of went down. Oh, and then, dude, the best part though was after he started all that crap again. After he restarted all that crap with the consider it this TV or whatever it's called. After he started that, and then he goes and he turns on Kenny and crew, and over seriously Beholder Guard saying that Turks butcher Arabic because they put an E at the end of everything. That was it. and he started calling Beholder Guard racist, and everybody was a racist, and Kenny was a racist and not a leader because he wasn't handling it. Blah 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 blah. He said, "I'm going to leave Islam if you don't do something." And Kenny's like, "What? No, no." So then Kenny turns on Beholder Guard. So that starts the Great Fitna, the Great Syrian Council. That went on for a couple months, so that was fun. But either way, remember Charles left Islam and then starts attacking Kenny. Remember, was that on our show, or did I have that on? Did I have a special thing where?
No, we had Beholder Guard. We had Beholder Guard on this show, or before that council that Kenny had called.
Right.
He wanted to provide him an opportunity to explain what his side of the story.
I'm talking about, remember Charley, where we interviewed him, and Charley told us that Kenny's the real extremist. He can't be a member of CARE or something like that. We need to stop that. Don't you remember that? And he admitted that Kenny told him to do everything. Kenny pointed him in your direction. Kenny gave him the website and the photograph, and Kenny told him to do all the doxing.
Well, if you said that on the show, I'm not going to go back.
Yeah, we did a special thing. I don't think we ever aired it because we wanted to keep it secret. I'll have to look for it. But yeah, don't you don't remember that where he was going? It was going out protect Kenny.
I was going back and forth, but I don't remember discussing it.
All right. Well, either way, you turn on him, and then because somebody also didn't listen to me about disconnecting a certain Facebook account, he then came back and attacked you. Oh, but then he attacked. Oh, that was the funny part, where he attacked Danny Davis for a picture.
Right. Yep.
A racist picture.
You got to destroy his way of life. You got to just burn it all to the ground.
Because he defends black people. I'm like, dude, you do realize that he's black, right?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with it. Yeah, but you're gonna put a black family in the poorhouse, right? Over a picture.
Yeah.
I don't care. He's gonna get people killed. Remember, that's a stick. He's gonna get people killed because of this picture.
This is the justification he used to try to get me fired from my job as a teacher. He says, your hatred in the classroom is going to cause the discrimination against kids. I mean, and that spreading that hatred that you spew every week on this show or whatever is going to encourage people to get in their car and run over Muslim families.
Right.
It's just this is where this is where I think Chloe right here is absolutely right. I mean, that's just crazy talk. Nobody talks that way, and nobody does these things, threatens people physically all the time, whenever they get offended, or try to destroy people's lives all of the time whenever they get crossed. This is what a child does. You would expect this type of behavior from somebody who is childlike. Okay, so I want to go ahead and just end this. We don't need to be on here forever and a day.
I got another thing. I just shared it with you. Speaking of Beholder Guard made a funny video today. It's kind of funny.
All right, let me find this. Hold on. Okay. Bring this over here. How long does it?
It's like a minute.
Yeah, it's not long at all. Okay, so let me minimize that. Share screen. What's this called? Okay, I got to put it over on my other. Sorry. Paste. Bada bing. Bada boom. Okay, gonna move you over here. Come on. Everybody's waiting for you to get it set up. Come on, Cather.
We're a professional organization. That's how we roll.
We do this every week. Okay. Is this it? Okay. Let me know if you can hear it.
Yep.
Okay.
Hi there, my name is Roxanne and this is my story of how I became a Christian, then the next day I became a Muslim, and the day after that I became a Trinitarian. After that, I became a Shia Muslim, and then a Unitarian. then a Quranist, and now I am trying to decide whatever the be next. I love changing religion each and every day. It always happens whenever I speak to someone. I simply convert to his or her religion, and if anyone doesn't give me money, I attack them and get triggered for the stupidest reasons, like if anyone calls me Roxy instead of Roxanne.
That's pretty much it. That was pretty good, I have to admit, dude.
Oh, that's good. That's something Kufar Foley would make.
Yeah, that pretty much captures Charley, dude. I can't wait for the hate videos to come out after this one. Oh, great! What did you do again, man? You shouldn't have done this. Here we come. Oh no!
What happened?
I said I can't wait for the hate videos, the pictures and the videos and the phone calls.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, he's going to do what he's going to do. There's something I want to show here. Let's see here. For y'all that go to my channel, I put 3 videos up. Whoops, wrong one. Sorry. I put 3 videos up. This is the series I've been talking about doing for 2 years. It's called Putting Jesus in His Place. I put the introduction and the 2 of the other videos in there. My guess is there's probably going to be 40 or 50 videos that accompany this, and they're short, like 10-minute videos. I try to keep them under 10 minutes. And what they do is they using that book, Putting Jesus in His Place by what was the guy's name? Robert Bowman and Ed Kamazeski. I can't ever pronounce his name, but anyway, they use the acronym HANDS, and by doing this, they answer this question, this silly, often made question: where does the Bible say that Jesus says he was God? Worship me. And they use the acronym HANDS to describe how Jesus receives the same honors, only the honors that God would receive, that he shares the same attributes that only God would have. He shares the same names that only God has. He has the same deeds that only God would do or perform. And lastly, he shares the only seat that God would have. So if you get over there, jump over to the channel and watch those. I'll be posting as many of those as I can as the summer goes on until we have to actually go back to work. All right, Rad, you got anything for the cause you want to say today?
No, just don't vote for Joe Biden.
I agree.
Advanced, student, and specialist, that the standard narrative has holes. That's what
that the Muslims were rioting against one another. And as much as we don't want to face the fact, the Muslims were lying sometimes. They were fabricating, they were embellishing, and that might be hard to accept, but that is a reality.